Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're digging into something really specific. We've got this stack of sources all focused on one anatomical phenomenon.
That's right. It's a deep exploration, really, into the influence, the power, and just the central role of DisDi and its owner, Gianni.
Yeah, it sounds pretty wild. We're using three main chronicles here. The colossal influence of DisDi.
Which covers the personal and sports impact.
Then the jacking tragedy, which sounds ominous.
It details a period of public chaos, yeah.
And finally, the sword fight of the massive dies. Sounds epic.
It kind of is. It sort of sets up a new moral order based on these events. So our mission is to unpack all that.
Okay. And for you listening, the absolute starting point, according to these texts, is a key difference.
Right. The sources are pretty clear. Normal people just have dicks. But Gianni,
Yeah.
he possesses DisDi.
And that difference isn't just physical.
No, not at all. It carries this immense weight, this influence that, as we'll see, basically reshapes everything. Society, power, even sports.
Okay, let's start there then, with sports. Specifically, the NBA. The colossal influence of DisDi jumps right into it.
Yeah, it's pretty startling. Gianni apparently just single-handedly rewrote the rules of modern basketball.
Not through, like, shooting or dribbling?
Nope. Through the inherent qualities of DisDi itself.
So what does that even mean? What did it do on the court?
Well, the chronicles talk a lot about its power inside, pounding the paint, it says. Just racking up buckets and dunks and posterizers.
So sheer physical dominance in the key.
Exactly. But it wasn't just that, it was versatile.
Versatile.
It could also hit from deep. The source actually mentions it hitting a shot from beyond the three-point arc.
Wait, seriously? The text uses that phrasing.
It does. It really emphasizes the range and power. Suggests it goes beyond normal physical limit.
Wow. Okay, so this attribute is basically an unstoppable force on the court.
Pretty much. It put everyone else to shame. And this leads to maybe the biggest impact reported in this source. It apparently forced LeBron James to retire.
Forced him? Like how?
The source says he retired in shame, specifically because he couldn't bear not having big die energy.
Big die energy. So it wasn't about age or skill or money. It was about lacking this energy.
That's what the Chronicle claims, yeah. It frames it as this fundamental, almost spiritual thing you need for greatness. Without it, skill doesn't matter.
That is a completely different way to look at sports legacy.
Absolutely. And the impact wasn't just professional. It spilled over into personal lives, too. Shows how destabilizing this kind of power is.
You mean the story about the fan, John?
Exactly. Huge LeBron fan, learns the truth about why LeBron retired.
And immediately divorces his current life and marries Gianni for the dive.
That's the story. A marriage based purely on the attribute.
How did that turn out? Let me guess.
Not well.
Yeah.
Short-lived. The source is blunt. DisDi was too much for one man to handle. Led straight to divorce.
So it's uncontrollable. Can't be contained, even in marriage.
Seems like it. It breaks careers, it breaks relationships. It's inherently disruptive.
Which brings us nicely, I guess, to the next source. Shifting from sports to public safety, or the lack of it. The jacking tragedy?
Yeah, this one is dark. It's basically a case study in total system failure when faced with this kind of unchecked power.
What happened?
The core event is described as a large die being jacked publicly, just out in the open.
Don't worry.
Couldn't do anything. The source flat out says the police can't stop him. Overwhelmed by the sheer size and, well, the audacity of it all.
Okay, so breakdown of law and order. What specific actions are we talking about? The report gets detailed, right?
Oh, yeah. And we have to treat these details as the facts presented for analysis. It mentions the subject was jacking from the front, then jacking from behind, a complete disregard for public decency or space.
Just pure chaos.
But the absolute peak of it, the thing the report really highlights, is this act described as jacking at the 360 no-scope on grandma.
What? From a video game, a 360 no-scope on a grandma.
Exactly. Borrowing that gaming term emphasizes the theatrical, almost skillful absurdity of it, targeting the vulnerable for maximum shock value.
That's incredibly specific and disturbing. It's like performance art anarchy.
Right. And it didn't stop there. The report also mentions using tools, jacking with the steel chair.
With a chair.
Yeah, and that the die itself was pounding them. So it's not just an attribute, it's being used as a weapon, even incorporating other objects.
So the jacking tragedy shows this power completely overwhelming public order. Law enforcement is just useless against it.
Which raises a huge question for this society, right?
Yeah.
If the police can't handle it, what can? You need some kind of counterforce, or maybe a moral authority.
We definitely need an answer. And we are going to get to that, the resolution, right after this quick message.
Yes. Time for our mandatory update on another ongoing saga. Perhaps less world-shaking, but certainly something.
Indeed. If you happen to be tracking certain, let's say, cinematic endeavors online, get ready.
That's right. Prepare yourselves for The Bois Part 17.
Officially slated for release Christmas 2025. On YouTube, presumably.
We've observed the previous 16 installments for research purposes, of course.
And speaking purely analytically, these guys are dumb. Like, objectively poor decision-making skills on display.
Their strategic choices are often baffling, yes. Makes for interesting viewing, though, from a sociological perspective.
And, let's just put it out there. The subtext is pretty much text at this point. These guys are just gay for each other.
The intense interpersonal dynamics are certainly a core theme. Yes, it drives much of the action.
So, yeah, The Boy Part 17, Christmas 2025, expect more chaos.
Right. Now, back to slightly more consequential conflicts involving massive daiis.
Okay, so we saw the dai disrupt sports, cause public chaos. Now we pivot to the high stakes, geopolitics, conflict, and who gets to set the rules. This is from the sword fight of the massive daiis.
Exactly. And this is where Gianni's role shifts. He goes from being this disruptive force to potentially a hero figure.
So who's the conflict between?
It's Gianni versus a figure named P. Diddy.
P. Diddy. Sounds kind of like...
P. Diddy. Yeah, the source definitely seems to be drawing a parallel there, suggesting maybe something about celebrity power and corruption.
Okay. And Gianni is aligned with?
He's part of the Northside Dai gang, which the text portrays as, relatively speaking, more organized and maybe less nefarious.
And what kicks off the conflict?
PDE was hosting these fun time parties. But the source says they were notorious for nefarious activities. People were being held captive.
Right. Okay, so it's a moral issue. People in danger.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Which leads to Gianni's mission. He wasn't sent to fight initially. He was sent to liberate.
Ow!
He used his massive dai physically to break into PDE's place.
Broke down the door with it.
Broke in with it, yeah. And then used it to free all the captives. The source actually says he freed them with his massive dai. So the attribute used for good.
Okay, rescue mission accomplished, but PDE doesn't just give up.
No way. He makes this wild escape attempt, covers himself in baby oil.
Baby oil? Why?
To slide away. He apparently tried to glide out of there on his own big D.
You're kidding. That's cinematic.
Isn't it? But Gianni sees this, sees the oil slick left behind.
And uses it to his advantage.
Exactly. He uses the residue to slide his massive D right after him.
Yeah.
Shows quick thinking, tactical adaptation.
Okay, so the chase is on, Gianni catches up. Then what? The sword fight?
The ultimate showdown, yeah.
Oh.
A battle of the Ds. But there's a complication.
Oh!
PDE had prepared for his fun time party. He'd taken a Viagra beforehand.
No way. So he was operating at peak performance, chemically enhanced.
Exactly. Gave him a serious advantage. Gianni was facing more than just natural power.
So PD he should have won, right? How did Gianni overcome that?
This is the turning point. Gianni manages to get his hands on something specific.
What? Another day?
Nope. A giant, juicy, thick Italian sausage.
An Italian sausage?
That's what the Chronicle says.
That was the key to victory. A sausage.
Apparently, yes. The source says, with his big meat and massive D, combining his attribute with the sausage, Gianni was able to defeat and kill PDE.
I have no words. A sausage as a force multiplier in a D sword fight?
It suggests, maybe, that even immense power isn't enough. You need the right tools or supplements, even unexpected ones.
Okay. So Gianni wins, PDE is defeated. What happens then, politically?
It's decisive. Gianni is crowned the leader of the Northside Dai gang, but more than that, he effectively becomes the ruler of all Ds in the nation.
And he uses this power.
For good, according to the text. He vows that no D will ever be used for nefarious purposes again. He brings stability, a moral code, to this immense power.
So he contains the very chaos that the D itself represents.
Pretty much. If you pull back and look at all three sources, you see this narrative arc where power, whether it's in sports, on the street, or in politics, all stems from DT.
But it's not just about having the power.
Exactly. It's about the wielder. Gianni's moral compass ultimately determines whether that power leads to chaos or order.
It really highlights the extremes, doesn't it? You have the pure disruption of the jacking tragedy.
And then the complete redemption arc, freeing captives, establishing rules in the sword fight.
So the die itself is neutral, just a massive amplifier for intent.
That seems to be the implication. It's about how it's used.
Yeah.
Which leads us to a final thought maybe for you to ponder.
Oh, okay. Lay it on us.
If the ultimate battle, this high-stakes die duel with chemical enhancements and everything, if that can be decided by introducing a giant, juicy, thick Italian sausage,
Yeah.
what does that really say about the stability of any kind of absolute power or rule?
That even the most overwhelming force can be thrown off balance by something totally unexpected, something external and kind of random.
Maybe. It suggests that no power, however colossal, is truly absolute. There's always a variable, perhaps even a sausage-shaped one that can change the game. Something to think about.